Good morning. Welcome to my kitchen, Leah, and whoever else sees this. Today we're going to prepare Dahi Bhallas in yogurt sauce. So this is the yellow split moong dal with the skins washed off. And this is the green split moong dal, and we're going to wash the skins. For these bhallas, you wash the skins off, which is quite a long process. So now I've been rubbing this, and now I'm just going to pour on the skins, as you can see, come to the surface. When you grind the dal, you need to drain it properly first so that it's not holding water. You don't want it too wet. If it does get too dry, you just add very little water. If you make it too pasty, they come out hard, so you have to get it that you have a bit of texture. It's a little bit more. This is a good consistency. It's not too wet and not too dry. This is looking pretty good. Yeah, it's done. It's such a beautiful morning that I came outside to beat the dal. So you have to whip it until it fluffs up. Sometimes it can almost double in size, but this makes the bhallas light and fluffy, which is the secret to a good dahi bhalla. I just prefer to use my hand, and sometimes if I'm doing a lot, then I'll use a whisk. So this is fluffed up now. You can see it's increased in size. It's quite light and fluffy, and it took about 5 minutes, and my arm got a very good workout. The secret to a good bhalla is to have it light and fluffy. So this is the one that was whipped. You can see how light it is, and this is the one that hasn't been whipped, so you can see it's quite dense. Very nice fresh ginger, so I'm just going to scrape it, and then I'm going to grind it along with the green chili on the traditional chutney stone. Green chilies and ginger together to put into the mixture. Obviously you can do this in a machine. This is just the way they do it traditionally. This is tamarind imli, which I soaked half a cup in warm water, and you have to just also rub this a bit so that the seeds come out in the pulp. And I'm going to make the sweet and sour chutney with this, and I've also put an equal amount of gur, which is the traditional way they do it. You could use coconut sugar and brown sugar, date sugar. And this is ground. This is jaggery. Jaggery is the byproduct of sugar cane when they boil it down. It's an unrefined sugar, and it has a really unique flavor, so it is nice to use the jaggery if you can. You can probably buy this already prepared as a paste. Now we're going to cook it with the jaggery and cinnamon and clove and salt. It's a very sweet and sour, pungent chutney. and put that on while we make our bhallas. This is our curd yogurt, and I'm going to put into here some crushed mint, salt, and then mix that up. And this is our sauce that's ready once the bhallas are fried. And I like to shallow fry because it makes them very soft, because you'll see they puff up out of the oil. So I'm just going to take such a little amount. It's so small. And
how many people do you usually cook for?
well, usually I make these for at least 10, 15, 20 people, but today it's just for Leo. So I'm just putting a little salt. It's looking like it's getting hot enough. I'm just going to test the temperature of the oil. Yes, it's hot enough. It rose up. And I like to put a little oil on the spoon and just drop them in like so. Take about 4 minutes to fry. And our chutney's simmering nicely. You have to wait until it thickens up. It's too thin right now. My friend Gyan, who is behind the camera, has challenged me for the last 40 years, because once we were in Delhi and we had these most delicious dahi bhallas that were so soft, and she said, "Oh, I bet you can't make them this soft." So I have finally perfected it and made them soft, and she barely admits it, but they're softer.
It's true, they're excellent. They're better than the ones in Delhi 40 years ago, which I remember so well.
The last and final step before we put them in the yogurt is to just immerse them in warm water, almost hot, and this is also making them softer and taking out the excess oil. Just leave them for a couple of minutes, and then they look great. I've never made so few bhallas. So now we're just going to squeeze the excess water out and put them into the curd. If you leave them too long, they start to dissolve. They start to get too soft. So this was literally about 2 minutes.
And voila!
And now our dahi bhallas are ready. And they can soak in the yogurt for anywhere from 20 minutes to a couple of days. Now for the final touch, we put roasted ground cumin and a little bit of chili powder. This is This is a chili powder that's not hot. It's more for colour. And they end up looking like that.